It is time to talk about heroin. Once considered an urban street drug, heroin has now firmly enmeshed in our suburban landscape, and it is killing our children. My name is Marion Callahan, and I am working with a team of reporters, editors, and photographers to investigate heroin's growing grip on our communities. We will examine the tragic world of addiction, and we will explore avenues for escape. And I hope that you will share these stories with your colleagues, your coworkers, your neighbors, and most importantly, your families.
What we're seeing is really this epidemic of opiate use starts with prescription drugs that kids are basically getting from their parents' medicine cabinet. Yes, they're sold on the street, but it's so much easier and it's cost effective and costs nothing to reach into your parents' medicine cabinet, and people don't realize that's what's happening. Suddenly, it's very expensive per pill on the street. They're running out in terms of their parents' medicine cabinet, and so the next alternative is heroin, which runs about $5 a bag compared to 10 times that much for one pill.
Though heroin use, crime, and deaths are up, this is by no means isolated to our local community. There are much bigger forces at work, according to the Drug Enforcement Administration.
The Mexican cartels, from what we are seeing, are capitalizing on this new market. They've pretty much infiltrated the country. They've set up distribution networks across the state, here in Pennsylvania in particular, and they're capitalizing on this new market. Pills are so expensive to buy in the black market that once you become abused and addicted to the prescription drug, you can no longer afford to have it. So they turn to heroin, another cause. That's why our heroin population is growing, and heroin is cheap because there's a lot here.
It's not uncommon to see 17, 18, 19-year-olds now using heroin, whether it be snorting or drug IV use and needles. So it's pretty prevalent. The scary part is that there's more overdoses happening, and overdoses that also lead to deaths.
I had a girl in this year who was 14, two girls that were 14 doing heroin, shooting heroin, prostituting themselves. When you start doing the heroin, you get downhill rather quickly because the drug has you, the addiction has you, and it just takes you. So you're pretty much living to support your habit because you don't want to go through the withdrawal.
The disturbing trend is the higher quality, the higher purity of heroin, which is luring more users and triggering more overdoses.
Heroin now, you can smoke it, you can snort it, and you can get high. Back in the day, it was usually you had to inject it. The purity level now, heroin goes up to about 93% pure. So they're getting high regardless of how they put it into their system.
Well, in Bucks County, according to this is information from the Bucks County Coroner's Office, of all deaths that involved toxicology, 65.8% were directly related to drugs, with 37.2% of those deaths were people under the age of 30. That matches the trends of the increased use of heroin as well. This number reported by the Coroner's Office has almost doubled in the past 4 years, and OxyContin, Xanax, heroin, codeine, and morphine were among the highest reported drugs found at the time of death.
I've been seeing a lot of overdoses. I had a client that came to me the end of last year who was seeking treatment because he had had four friends pass away within 4 months. And they were all they all started with Percocets and then were doing heroin. So he was seeking treatment because he didn't want to die.
Our talk on heroin is just beginning. Our goal is to increase awareness and to decrease use of this deadly drug that is robbing our communities of too many lives. This is Marion Callahan reporting from Levittown for the Bucks County Courier-Times and the Intelligencer.